Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's quick little workshop on being an ambassador for the Florida Cancer Specialist Foundation, as well as a quick review on the patient support volunteer role. I am so grateful for you all watching this video, and I am excited to further share this information with everybody. Let's go ahead and jump right on in. So the purpose of the ambassador program is to support the outreach efforts of the Florida Cancer Specialist Foundation to bring awareness throughout the FCS clinics in the communities we serve. The core values of being an ambassador are what each and every single one of you already are. Okay, having the enthusiasm, knowing your audience. You guys are the boots on the ground, basically. You guys have those connections with the clinics. You have those connections with the patients. You guys know how to talk with them. And that is what's so important, is that they're comfortable with you and you're able to have that empathy and the customer service as well as the professionalism. So these are the core values of not only the ambassador program, but being a volunteer with the foundation. Here are some talking points that you're able to utilize if anybody ever asks you any questions about the foundation, or if they ask you anything about our grant program. Here are some little key details that you are able to utilize if anybody asks. So for instance, the physicians financially support all the operation costs of the foundation. So that means that every donation, so every dollar, goes directly to support our patients, which is something we are very, very proud of. The foundation has awarded over 16.9 million in financial aid since its inception. We do not pay medical bills, so we only pay non-medical financial aid. So that's rent, mortgage, phone bills, utilities, HOA payments, stuff like that. And I'll go a little bit more into detail on a further slide. Let's see. We have never turned away a qualified patient, which is also really amazing. So that means that if they put in an application and they meet all the qualifications, they will get financial aid. And then if they want to be a volunteer, like let's say a patient or a family member asks about our volunteer program, you can let them know that we have 61 clinics with volunteer programs in them and over 375 volunteers. So those are the main talking points, but I'm not going to expect anybody to remember this off the top of their head, right? I feel like that's a little crazy. I always say this in my orientations. I will never expect anybody to remember all of this. If you want to try and remember one or two just to have on the top of your head, that is completely up to you. But we do have one-pagers at the clinics, like little pamphlets, stuff like that, that you're able to hand out. So if anybody ever asks any questions, you could give them one of those and you can direct them to the website from there where all of this information will be. Now for the patient grant requirements. So for a patient to be qualified to receive non-medical financial aid, they need to be a current Florida resident over the age of 18, be actively undergoing cancer treatment in Florida or within 90 days of their most recent treatment, have an annual household income at or below 250% of the poverty level, have less than $5,000 in total household liquid assets. They would have to go and complete an online application and have only received financial assistance for 1 year or less. So if they have already received financial aid from Florida Cancer Specialists Foundation for 2 years, they would not qualify. And we're doing this so we're able to provide more patients the opportunity to get the financial aid. And like I mentioned before, the type of bills that can be paid include rent, mortgage, homeowners insurance, utilities, a phone bill, as well as car payments. And over here on the right side of the page, you'll see what the 250% of the poverty guidelines look like. And they break it down by household size. So like a normal sized household is 4 people. So the annual income would be about 82.5. And we actually just recently increased this number here. So it used to be 200% of the poverty level, but we adjusted it to 250. So we're able to kind of welcome more people into the fold and be able to approve more people. And this is matching with inflation and the increases of costs across the board. We also, the award limit for the patients that receive the grants is $2,200 per applicant per calendar year. So although it doesn't seem like a lot, it's not supposed to take over their annual income. It's just supposed to be that crutch so they don't have to choose between keeping their lights on and getting their treatment. Now for volunteer program requirements. So to be a volunteer at Florida Cancer Specialist Foundation, you need to be 18 years or older. We do not accommodate court-ordered community service. And if you are a patient receiving active treatment, you are unable to volunteer while you're receiving active treatment. But if they are in maintenance or they have just finished their treatment, they are more than welcome to put in an application and join us. Opportunities to give. If anybody ever asks about how they can donate, we have a general donation box that are at the clinics. They can donate online on our website. They can do a donation in remembrance in honor or in honor of a loved one. Leave a legacy. So people have in the past left the foundation in their will or in their trust, or they can attend a special event. And we have a whole bunch of those throughout the year. So that is a little bit of information about how to be a brand ambassador or a foundation ambassador as a volunteer. Now I'm going to touch on the patient support volunteer role review. This is basically a quick run through of the handbook per se. So this way you're able to kind of have just a little reminder of the do's and do nots, policies, procedures, fun stuff like that. Let's go ahead and just jump right on in. So the duties and responsibilities of a patient support volunteer. So I know a lot of you are very aware of what you are supposed to do in your role. So if you are already aware, I do just ask for you to sit through this for the next couple of minutes, just for the quick reminder. And then that way, if I don't mention anything that you are doing, you are able to reach out and ask me and be like, hey, am I supposed to be doing this? Hey, I was asked to do this. So I think it's always just a good little reminder. So I'll try and go through as speedy as possible. You can greet patients and guests with a smile and friendly voice, engage in light and easy conversation, try and keeping that conversation light. If they try and guide the conversation elsewhere, trying to make it a little bit of a heavier topic, you can always steer it back to being, oh, well, have you gone to Disney recently? Or kind of shifting it to be like, oh, well, my granddaughter said this and I heard this was a good idea, or I started drawing, something like that. You can offer patients a pillow or blanket, distributing snacks, preparing and serving coffee or other beverages for patients and guests, restocking the blanket warmer. And when you're restocking the blanket warmer, make sure you're not shoving as many blankets as possible in there, because that way, if there's so many blankets shoved in there, it can't properly heat, right? So make sure you leave room, or if you have any questions about how to properly put the blankets in the blanket warmer, you can always ask one of our amazing nurses. You can offer assistance escorting patients to chairs or other parts of the facility. And as I say in all of our orientations, you are not required to do this. If you feel comfortable doing it, you are more than welcome to. If you don't, you do not have to. If you do, you're not allowed to lift people. So if they're not able to get up on their own, you would have to ask a nurse to come over and assist them. And you're also not allowed to leave the facility with them. So you could take them to the car or to a you cannot take them to a car. Okay, mark that down. You cannot take them to their car. You can take them to the lobby and hand them off to a caregiver, but that's as far as you'd be able to go with them. You can hand out magazines, books, art therapy, as well as foundation information to patients and guests. Wiping down the infusion chairs, as you guys know, is probably one of the biggest helps for the nurses. Please make sure that you wear the proper gloves and use the proper sanitizing wipes when doing this. Do not clean the chairs without the gloves on, okay? And if you are confused or you have any questions regarding the exact wipes you're supposed to be using, please ask first. It's better to ask and get the verification than to just assume, okay? And then make sure you sign in and out for your shifts. This one I feel is very easy. Everybody remembers that if they forget, everybody remembers that they forget. If they forget to clock in, they send me their hours and then I'll go in at a later time and put them in. So just as long as you either enter it via the QR code or you send me the hours or manually enter, however you do it, as long as you put those hours in, that is all that I ask. And of course, other duties is assigned, but there are always limitations to this, okay? So other duties that's assigned could be helping unload the boxes and put everything in the stock room. helping sweep if they ask you for that. Little things. You should never be doing anything that takes over what a nurse's job is per se, right? So you should not be dealing with the IV bags or saline or bringing biohazardous drugs or materials from one place to another. So like the P sample cups or anything like that. So everything should be as contained and as normal per se as possible. So if you're doing anything and you kind of are listening to this and you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this, please ask. Please always ask. You can reach out to me at any time. Shoot me a text, give me a call, whatever is easiest. I'd prefer you ask than not. And let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. For policies and procedures, of course, these first two bullet points here are about scheduling. As you all know, I send out two versions of the schedule. I send out the schedule draft around the middle of the month, and then the final schedule at the end of the month. I always ask that if you have any changes or if I make any mistakes, just let me know so I'm able to rectify those and make all those edits. And then at the end of the month, we all know that I sent out the final version, and I will still make edits. If you see the final schedule come out and you're like, ooh, I forgot to tell her about that, let me know. Or if you see that maybe I didn't make an edit that you sent, just follow up. Just let me know, and I'll go ahead and make all those edits and resend it on out. If you're unable to come in for a shift, so like a day-by-day type of thing, let's say you wake up not feeling well, please make sure to let me or your nurse manager or both of us know. That way everybody is aware, okay? It is better to be aware than unaware. Make sure you refer all nutritional and medical questions from patients and their guests get referred back to the clinic staff. And if you have any doubt about what you're supposed to be doing, always, 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 always ask first. Always ask first. And then hand washing and sanitizing is super, super, super important. Please make sure to wash your hands or sanitize as frequently as possible, just because you are dealing with the snacks and the drinks of the patients and you are in a clinic. So making sure you keep those hands as clean as possible is so important. We're going to move on to this next slide. Things to avoid. Make sure you never contradict or criticize anything a patient is told by staff. Don't turn off the infusion monitor when it's beeping. No lifting of patients, like I mentioned before. Biohazardous materials or fluids are to be handled by staff only. Do not bring in outside food or snacks for the patients. Refrain from using your phone during your shift. That includes utilizing social media. So like we've had in the past, somebody make a TikTok video. That is not allowed. So make sure if you need to make a phone call or shoot a text message, you just step outside of the infusion room. But other than that, you should not be on your phone while volunteering. Avoid sitting leisurely during your shift. So that basically means that if you need to take a break, just make sure to step into the break room. But you can, of course, sit while talking with patients. So utilizing the swirly chairs, an open chair next to them, anything along those lines. But if you just need a break, just make sure you step into the break room. No chewing gum or eating in the patient area. Just make sure you step into the break room. Our clinics are smoke-free and scent-free, so avoid using perfumes, colognes, lotions on your volunteer days. I know everybody likes to smell good, but for the safety of our patients, especially those who, if they smell a smelly smell, it could really set them off. So for the safety of our patients, please make sure that you do not wear any perfumes, colognes, or lotions on your volunteer days. And then, of course, last but not least, if you're ever not feeling well, fever, cough, sneezing, cold, or flu symptoms, always, always, always stay home. Always stay home. But dress code. For our dress code, you should be properly groomed and dressed. Everybody should have their volunteer t-shirt as well as a lanyard or a name badge. If you do not have any of those items, please let me know and I will send one out to you as soon as I am able to. That way you are able to have your proper attire. For shoes, closed-toed shoes are required. Please make sure you are wearing sneakers. Some people like to wear Crocs. As long as they are closed-toed and non-skid, that is all that matters. And if you don't know if your sneakers are non-skid, that is okay. Sneakers are fine to wear. For pants, business casual. I know a lot of you are aware of what business casual looks like, but just for a quick little overview, you can wear dark jeans, like dark blue or black jeans, as long as there's no rips in them. Some people like to wear khakis or comfortable dress pants, and you are also allowed to wear scrubs, so like black or navy blue scrub pants. Just make sure that if you are wearing scrub pants, that your volunteer shirt is easily visible, and nobody will be able to get confused. And I think that is really all. And that is all for the presentation. I'm now going to show a video for how to properly wash your hands, because I feel like that is super, super, super important. Okay, go ahead and share my screen, include sound. Oh, cool. Okay, there we go. And let's watch.
What you need to know about hand washing. Why should I use soap and water to wash my hands? Germs can get on your hands and items you touch throughout the day. When your hands might be dirty, it's best to wash with soap and water to remove whatever germs and chemicals are on them. Warm or cold water. Either is fine, as long as it's clean. Bar soap or liquid. Either is fine. Does the soap have to be antibacterial to work? No. Plain soap and water work just as well. What if I don't have soap, but I have access to water? Using soap to wash hands is more effective than using water alone. But if water is all you have, rub your hands together under it and wipe off with a clean towel or air dry. When hands aren't visibly dirty, you can use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. How long do I need to scrub when washing my hands? Scrubbing your hands for at least 20 seconds is most effective. Do I have to clean under my fingernails? Yes. Germs like to hide under fingernails. Make sure to clean there too. Towel or air dry. Either is fine, but if you're using a towel, make sure it's clean. Should I use a paper towel to turn off the faucet or open the door of a public bathroom? There isn't much scientific evidence about this. If you're concerned about getting germs on your hands after you wash them, you can use a paper towel to turn off the faucet or open door handles. What if I don't have soap or water to wash my hands? If soap and water aren't available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Alcohol-based hand sanitizers can quickly kill most types of germs on the hands, but may not kill certain bacteria and viruses that cause diarrhea. You should wash your hands before eating or after using the restroom. Protect yourself and others by washing your hands with soap and water. Learn more about the magic of hand washing. Visit cdc.gov/handwashing.
Well, there we have it, everybody. A quick little run through how to properly wash your hands and what to do if maybe there isn't soap around. Grab some hand sanitizer. I do want to say that if you do not see soap, please do not just wash your hands with water. Please ensure to go and find some hand sanitizer and then let a nurse know that there was no soap at that sink, okay? I know you all already know this, and I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you guys ever need anything or have any questions, please feel free to reach out at any time. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.